Good morning. All my friends, what's happening? Hope you guys are doing well. We're in chapter 32 today on the Morning Devo with Bo-O, and it's Magic Johnson's number. So we gotta love that. I mean, gosh. Magic Johnson wore number 32, if you don't know, for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I just tend to remember that. So we're at Isaiah 32. We're going through the Bible. We're in chapter 32 of Isaiah. You could always check out my archives at my YouTube channel at Bo Willette. Just type in my name. It's a lot of vowels in the YouTube search bar, and you will come up with my YouTube page that has a lot of these devotional kind of studies. And I just go through the Bible simply because that is how you're going to learn about God and humans and everything like that. And if you just go through it. And for those that have gone through the scriptures with me, you have gone through a lot. You've gone through the New Testament, and you've gone through already half of the Old Testament, more than that. And we're in the book of Isaiah. So pretty radical. I mean, you're going to finish, hopefully, Lord willing, we'll finish the whole entire Bible together. I mean, that would be awesome. So I got Paula. I think I know Tina's there this morning. So, hey, that's cool. And we'll see who else jumps in. What's up, Mr. T on YouTube? Hope you're doing good, too. And so let's get into this. Chapter 32 of Isaiah. And it's been a lot of discipline on the people of Israel. So if you got to imagine that kind of hanging out with God is going to be a lot of just personal discipline in your life. I mean, we can get that from the book of Isaiah for sure, right? If you're going to be hanging out with the deity at all, or if there's a message from the deity to you, it's probably going to be a lot of discipline, meaning a lot of correction. And so we shouldn't be surprised by that. If someone's trying to correct you or anything like that, that's kind of normal. We all don't got it together. We don't all make mistakes, right? And so sometimes there's an encouragement to, hey, maybe do this, And so it says in chapter 32, and this is my title above my chapter, says Israel's ultimate deliverance. So that's what mine says. It says, look, a righteous king is coming, an honest prince, and honest princes will rule under him. Okay, so we get it. An honest king, some princes are going to rule under. Each one will take a shelter from the wind and a refuge from the storm. So they're going to be kind of beneficial, a help. And it says, like streams of water in the desert and the shadow of a great rock in a parched land. This is kind of an interesting passage. It's kind of like, you get this ideal that Israel one day will have everything going on right in the right spots, like together. Everything will be cool. The government will be cool. Everything will be great. And it's kind of interesting. You read the book of Revelation. At the end of the book of Revelation, there's this. It's interesting. The apostles have a place, and you see that they're commemorated. It's very interesting if you read the end of the book of Revelation, how you see things are set up in the kind of new heavens, new earth kind of idea. And maybe this is just a kind of foreshadow of that ultimate kind of ruling and reigning of God and his people. And it says, then everyone who has eyes will be able to see the truth. Man, so that's our problem, is that we can't seem to see the truth. So on the planet, we got this issue, and that is we're just somehow blinded all the time. We can't seem to make it out. Can't seem to spot the truth. It's really a miracle when we can. And it says, and everyone who has ears will be able to hear it. Even the hotheads will be full of sense and understanding. Those who stammer will speak out plainly. Do we have hotheads today? Yeah, all over the place, right? And all of a sudden, people will finally make sense. People will finally see the truth, hear the truth. And it says, in that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes. Scoundrels will not be respected. So even in Isaiah's day, the ungodly were heroes. Scoundrels were not respected. So we can kind of move away from the idea that, our world is different from every other time. Maybe different in some nuances, sure, in some ways, right? But not different in many ways. Meaning human beings seem to have been the same throughout time. Now, this is one of the cool things about reading the Bible, is the Bible is a very old collection, or a collection of old books. And when you have all this collection together, you see kind of what the world was like. And then we get to notice from things like this that, things just don't really change when it comes to our human behavior. We tend to respect those, and we kind of raise up those who are not really doing the right thing. I grew up in an era where we would love, like, say, what we called hip-hop music, rap music, right? And I grew up in an era of blood and Crips and, like, gangs, and, like, right, the LA gang issues. And in those days, you would, we would puff up rappers, even if they were in one of the gangs. We tended to make heroes, right? Those who weren't heroes. Can you think over the last 4 years, did we exalt someone as a hero when really, man, they really weren't a hero? In the sense of a outstanding person. Someone to kind of look up to. You want your kid to look up to type of person. And where the whole nation kind of upholds someone, right, as a hero, but they're really, maybe not a hero. And I know that hurts the heart because, we want to think that people are heroes, but maybe we just tend to use people to make a point. Maybe we tend to use people for our own means, even when they're not heroes, right? And so maybe we got a lot of selfish, even in our hero making, so to speak. But I think this morning we can just kind of bring it down to the devotion level of just, who are my heroes? Is that person really a hero? And who is the greatest hero? And am I really looking in the right spot when it comes to who my heroes are? And it says, for fools speak foolishness and make evil plans. They practice ungodliness and spread false teaching about the Lord. Ooh. And this is something Isaiah had to combat in his day, right? That people were spreading false teaching about the Lord, about Yahweh, and they were making evil plans. It says, they deprive the hungry of food and give no water to the thirsty. Man, they really aren't out for the people of Israel. It's interesting how, remember, God established, we read it probably a year ago or so, but God established the system of Israel to help out those in need. And obviously this has been neglected, so that the people of Israel are being neglected in their hard times. And so this is what's being spoken of, right? It says, the smooth tricks of scoundrels are evil. They plot crooked schemes. They lie to convict the poor, even when the cause of the poor is just. Man, it's that system class warfare. You know, the poor can be treated bad, so we treat them bad. We can get over on the poor because they don't have money, so we just exploit them. And this is how it rolls, an exploiting system. Do we have systems that exploit the poor, right? That gouge money from the common person, from middle class, quote, right? Yeah, we have a lot of issues like that, right? You know, there's no way that you should go to a hospital, any hospital, get an image scan, and that image scan, even 3 of them, cost more than a car. Unbelievable. 15-minute scan cost more than a vehicle? That's called exploitation, right? That should be illegal. And that is what we call criminal. And that is what we call the mob, right? That's why I used to listen to Black Sabbath, right? Mob rules, right? That was a song. And, you know, that's the problem, is that there in Israel, there's all this stuff, and there's all stuff around us too, right? But notice, God sees. That's the message of Isaiah. God sees. You know, God knows what's going on. Nothing's getting by on God. Not one iota. Isn't that crazy? Nothing. So it's like, and so we get this idea that God is up and close because the prophet Isaiah is speaking to the people. He's giving them the real news. This is the real news, guys. And he says, verse 8, but generous people plan to do what is generous, and they stand firm in their generosity. Am I generous? Hey, Bob, what's happening? I was thinking of Bob when I thought of the word generous, just because Bob makes these good cookies, and he loves to just give them out, and they're so cool. That's a generous person. Hate to use you today, Bob, but, you know, that's very generous of you. You know, and all of you have been so generous. And that's beautiful. That's what makes it so cool to be around all of you. It's because you're generous. And they stand firm in their generosity. Listen, you women who lie around in ease. Listen to me who are so smug. Wow. In a short time, just in a little more than a year, your careless ones will suddenly begin to care. Listen, you women who are just chilling out, kicking back, doing your thing, bling, 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 right? All of a sudden, one day, it's all going to come crashing down. And pretty soon, you're going to care. When we grow up, I know me in Southern Cal, when we grow up super liberal. We want to do everything we want to do, right? Hey, why, you know, I just saw a reel the other day, man, where this young girl in college, she looked like she was 17, 18, just tearing apart this Christian guy who's doing some evangelism on a campus. And this young girl's like, why are you here? You're oppressing us, you know, with your message. And what's wrong with us? And yeah, totally, I get it. Man, I was your age, and I understood. I said the same exact jargon. Now, why did I say that? Because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. That's why. And that's why she's saying what she's saying. Right? You're oppressing us. Your message of Christianity is against us. But it's because she wants to do what she wants to do. But the problem is that it's illogical. If everybody does what everybody wants to do, is that good? No. We all have some boundaries, right? Even she's got some boundaries if she really stopped to think about it. She just doesn't particularly like the message that gentleman's bringing to the college campus, right? You know, that one of Christianity, you know. And then as you get older, older, you start going, man, you know what? Maybe I was thinking wrong. Maybe, and all of a sudden, it's like, you were so smug, but now you start to really care, and you start to think, and you see your own failures, and see your own mistakes, and you start going, wow, man, I'm starting to see things a little more clearly now. And he's saying in a short time, it's going to happen where judgment's going to come, and you're going to start caring. You're not going to be so just in your thing, right? Oh, it's all about me. Why is that young girl so upset at that Christian evangelist? What a narcissistic attitude, right? You're giving a message that I don't like, therefore you're oppressing me. Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm thinking about myself that much and I don't want to hear something, then I guess it would be oppressive to me because it's all about me, right? Interesting. Yeah, so am I smug? Or am I alert? Am I aware? Or am I just kind of lost in my world? Smug, just not really caring about things. And it says, for your fruit crops will fail and the harvest will never take place. Man, pretty soon, food's going to go gone. Tremble, you woman of ease. Throw off your complacency. Ooh, good word this morning. Am I complacent? What areas of my life am I complacent in? Maybe strip off your pretty clothes and put on burlap and show your grief. Beat your breast in sorrow for your bountiful farms and your fruitful grapevines, for your land will be overgrown with thorns and briars. Your joyful homes and happy towns will be gone. Hey, women, get serious. There's no doubt that we're in the women's world, there is a women's crisis. It's just obvious, right? Look at all the activists. Look at all what's going on. Who are they? Young girls. Isn't that interesting? What a trip, right? Interesting what's going on. I tell you, the women of the world need to think about what they've been doing for the last 100 years and go, is it going good? Is what we've done, what's the payoff? That's why we don't want to get smug, right? Us guys, we totally have biffed it, right? Talk about getting smug. A lot of blame for us men for why women do what they do. But women have had a lot of things that they've done over the last 100 years. And they're going to have to look at their actions too and go, hey, man, what is the ramifications for what we have said, what we have done, and going to have to live with that, So sometimes when I think, I think of myself and I go, oh man, I'm doing so great. I just look at the status of men in the world and I go, man, I'm probably not doing that great. Lord, I need you. But notice the idea is alertness. Just not falling into that, not being alert. Think of the second coming of Christ. Do we want to be alert to the second coming of Christ? Do I want to be smug? Or do I want to be using the time wisely? That makes sense to you probably. You've heard that before. To really redeem the time. And it says, the palace and the city will be deserted. The busy towns will be empty, while donkeys will frolic. That's cool. The old donkeys will frolic. That sounds pretty cool. And flocks will graze in the empty forts and watchtowers until the last spirit is poured out on us from heaven. Interesting passage. I'll have to look at other translations on that one. Then the wilderness will become a fertile field, and the fertile field will yield bountiful crops. Okay, there will be a spirit pouring out, and there will be a time of restoration. Cool. See that. Justice will rule in the wilderness and righteousness in the fertile field. And this righteousness will bring peace. So whatever spiritual revival takes place, it will bring about a peace. Yes, it will bring quietness and confidence forever. Oh, that quiet and confidence that Isaiah talks about, that rest of the Lord, of finding peace in Christ. Not being so caught up in the looking out at other human beings and how they frustrate you, but looking up and finding your rest in quietness and confidence in God. It says, my people will live in safety, quietly at home. They will be at rest. Even if the forest should be destroyed and the town torn down, the Lord will greatly bless his people. Wherever they plant seed, bountiful crops will spring up, and their cattle and donkeys will graze freely. So the idea is there will be fruit from their labor, right? And isn't that what we want in our life too? Fruit from our labor. I love it back in the day, how, man, they just worked the soil, just worked the ground, they worked together. There was a real camaraderie, a lot of equality. Why? Because anybody who picks up a shovel, that is equal. Meaning, you might shovel, I shovel, you might dig faster than me, but we're all digging ditches. The only payoff you get for digging fast is you get to dig another ditch, So, but if you're digging slow, you're still digging a ditch. See, it's equal. That's one thing about like tilling the land really does. It brings everybody just down to the grass kind of roots of who we are as humans. And so it's hard to boast because we're all digging ditches, kind of and I like that, but God says, man, there's going to be a peace. There's going to be a beautiful camaraderie, that beautiful equality that's going to be all there, when that spiritual revival breaks out. And hopefully this is how our lives are in the sense of the church life, right? That the Spirit is poured out and there is a sense of unity. Does that sound like the book of Acts, right? They have all things in common, right? There's this idea of equality, of unity, that kind of thing. How do you live, or I live, in a way that maybe breaks up that unity? Is there a way that I live, and it could be a lot of things, that really break up that camaraderie and unity with those in the body of Christ, So yeah, there's some things to think about there for sure. But I want to live in a way that really encourages unity, camaraderie, teamwork, and in a way that I am not different from other people. That I am the one digging the ditch with you, that kind of thing. And so, hopefully that is some good stuff. But man, I like that. Magic Johnson, number 32 in the Word. That's cool. Chapter 32. So Paula says we all need to be held accountable. Yeah, we will be. That's for sure. So what a great passage to the women. Ooh, this is one for you. This is one for you. Now, men, we have a lot of our passages, right? It seems like every other passage is just for us. But you got one specifically for yourself here. And so it's, again, the idea, the overall theme is that pouring out of the Spirit, the restoration, and bringing things back to unity and camaraderie and teamwork and equality. And instead of this kind of attitude of getting over on people that seems to be dominant in Isaiah's day and is dominant in our day. So God, help us not to get over on people, not to try to use people, coerce people, those kind of things. Help us, Father, to stay focused on just serving you, thinking of you, thinking upward, finding our joy and our quietness and rest in you, in what your Son has done for us. So, good time. You guys take care, okay? Bye-bye.